Parabrahmane Namaha. For our Indians, we have ancient works called Mahabharata, Ramayana. These two are epic poems, not an ordinary, great epic poems. When you come across Ramayana, it is an ideal character what presented by the great sage Valmiki in the form of Rama Lakshmana, Bharata Shatrughna, Sita, Hanuma, Sugriva, etc. All the characters of Ramayana has its own glory, its own idealism, its own magnanimity. When observe Ramayana, it is most important to follow even in this age, Kali Yuga. When you come across to Mahabharata, it is quite different. Mahabharata is an encyclopedia. Whatever the thing we can extract from Mahabharata stories. When you come across ethics in Mahabharata, Mahabharata teaches how should a friend, how should be a brother towards his younger brothers, how should be a wife towards her loyal husbands, how should be a friend act during the calamities, difficulties, adversities in the form of karna. And what does it teach? Means it teaches each and everything. That is called Mahabharata. How a person should be, how a person should not be. Don'ts and do's. Both you can get from Mahabharata. It is a peculiar epic poem. Each and every character makes us to inspire to be or not to be like that. It is based on between dharma and adharma, righteousness and unrighteousness, good conduct and bad conduct. So, when we thoroughly understand Mahabharata story, we can come across so many ethics. Is it? Even we can get the detailed description of so many wise sayings from like Bhishma, Vidura, etc. Whether we follow or not, these wise people suggested, advised, they gave a lot of advices. Whether Kauravas heard or not, Pandavas heard, got victory. Kauravas not heard, lost their lives. This is the motto behind the story of Mahabharata. Therefore, Mahabharata is mainly based on the battle between Dharma and Adharma, that's all. Dharma may get troubles at the beginning. Adharma may get rise in the beginning, but it will ruin afterwards, that will gain afterwards. So, like this, so many incidents occurred in Mahabharata shows us a good lesson, whether it is a good or bad. From good we have to extract, from bad we have to avoid. So both are live examples to our lives. In such a way, the great sage Vedavyasa composed Mahabharata, fully dumped various ethics and morals for our generation. That's I want to bring to your notice. Therefore, today I took the topic of ethics in Mahabharata. Prayer. Vyasam vasishtanaptaram shakte pautramakalmasham Parasharatmajam vande shukatatam taponidhim. Mahabharata should not be treated just as a mythological story. It needs to be assimilated. There are many hidden truths concerning our daily life and dharma. So, we should understand the concept of Mahabharata, which gives us various ethics and morals to lead our life in a righteous path. For example, when we come across to jealousy, the root cause of many conflicts is jealousy. If someone else is prosperous, we should not feel jealous. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Arjuna, Karna, even Yudhishthira were jealous of their opponents. Arjuna was jealous of Ekalavya and Karna. Dhritarashtra was jealous about his brother Pandu, Duryodhana about Bhima. When again, caste. One cannot claim that he is a pure Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Sudra. Many characters in Mahabharata are byproducts of intercaste relationships. Shantanu, a Kshatriya, married to Ganga. Dronacharya, Kripacharya and Ashwadhama were Brahmin by birth but fought war like Kshatriyas. Karna was brought up by charioteers and proud of a capable warrior. Another. Every man has weakness, we can find in Mahabharata. However, strong we claim every human being has Achilles heel which can be exploited and subjugated by others. Yudhishthira, in spite of not being adept in dice game, was subjugated by Shakuni by exploiting his weakness. Also, we should not expose our weakness to others. Mahabharata emphasizes unity is strength. Aikamatyam Mahabalam. The strength of Pandavas is unity. Everyone in Pandava camp were discreet in skill, temperament, and attitude. There were many instances where Bhima did not agree to Yudhishthira. In spite of discrepancies and difficulties, Pandavas, the unity between the brothers did not disintegrate. But silence is not good, one of the moral. When there was a blatant cheating by Shakuni in the game of dice, elders were silent. Being in responsible position, Bhishma and Drona abdicated their responsibilities due to which they deserved death. Elders should not keep silent when their kids were doing wrong. Kids should be reprimanded if they do anything against dharma. Pampering should not be encouraged when they break law. Another moral. Pride of woman is important. It was the wrath of Draupadi that destroyed Kauravas. Men should not be tongue-tied when pride of woman is at stake. Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira were all silent when Draupadi was insulted. Another, proper sleeplessness. One cannot sleep properly if they feel that committed sin. It always haunts them. Dhritarashtra was always restless and never slept properly, as he was always anxious about Pandavas' revenge. How can he sleep soundly? Another ethic. Responsibility of father. A father is the best friend a man can have can have. A father who betrays the interest to his son in his eagerness to please himself and his own desires is not a friend. Dhritarashtra failed in this regard. To control his son Duryodhana, to question him in satisfying his interest. Another ethic is friendship. Radheya, Karna, was ready to give his life for his beloved friend Duryodhana. Krishna was best friend of Arjuna. If you have good friend in your life, you can face challenges in life. Duryodhana was trusting his best friend Karna to face Pandavas. Arjuna could fight war by backing of Krishna. If you take a difference between friendship of Duryodhana Karna versus Krishna, Duryodhana Karna versus Krishna Arjuna. Karna was always suggesting in going to war against Pandavas right from his inception into Kaurava Pandava conflict, whereas Krishna did not suggest aggressive route to Arjuna. At the beginning of war, when Arjuna was demotivated, it was Krishna who encouraged him to fight. Friendship is always means give correct guide to your beloved ones. Another, once bitten, twice shy. Pandavas lost to Kauravas in game of dice. Yudhishthira, being inept in the game, again played in second time, which resulted in going to forests. Another, don't entertain negative people. Duryodhana was spoiled by Shakuni, his own maternal uncle. He instigated jealous against Pandavas. Apart from that, he advised crooked techniques to keep Pandavas away from kingdom. Yudhishthira tells Shalya to be charioteer of Radheya and speak discouraging words and praise Arjuna so that Radheya loses his confidence. One of the main reasons for fall of Radheya was negative influence to his charioteer Shalya. Another ethic. Treat half brothers like own brothers. Yudhishthira always treated Nakula and Sahadeva in par with Arjuna and Bhima. Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula and Sahadeva die unable to answer Yaksha questions. When Yudhishthira answers his questions, he was given a boon to choose one brother to be made alive. Then what he did, no? He chooses Sahadeva over his brother because he is the last one. Another ethic. Every person is good and bad. Coin has two sides, isn't it? All characters in Mahabharata have good qualities as well as bad qualities. Duryodhana was a very good king. Karna is known for his charity work. We ignore good work of a person when his bad qualities are highlighted in society. Another, listen to your advisors. It is most important one. Vidura, half brother of Dhritarashtra and Kauravas, many times to follow Dharma. He forwarded repercussions of not following Dharma. His advice was kept aside, leading to destructions of Kurus. Another, start preparation early, because we have the habit of postponement, no? That should not be done. This is another moral in Mahabharata. The strength of Pandavas was weak before going to forest. They have prepared for war well before Arjuna acquired all important weapons during his exile period. Another, dharma is subtle. Sometimes it is difficult to interpret dharma. In dice game, Yudhishthira kept Draupadi as slave. Bhishma failed to interpret this. Quality versus quantity. When Duryodhana and Arjuna go to Krishna for support, Arjuna chose Krishna, Duryodhana chose Krishna's army. It was because of Krishna's advice only Arjuna was able to fight war. The army count did not matter much in Kurukshetra. Another, you cannot use fair means to defeat powerful enemy. Kurukshetra war was fought on deceit and guile. Since Pandavas and Kauravas were equally matched, and unless you use deception, you cannot defeat enemy. Another, no one can claim right yes. Every person does mistakes in life. We cannot find an ideal person. Yudhishthira, Krishna, Radheya, Bhishma, Bhima, Duryodhana, Arjuna were unethical at different points of times. Another, you can learn if you have willpower. Ekalavya and Radheya prove that if you have ability and willpower, you can learn from great gurus. In spite of stigma carried due to their birth, it was willpower due to which they could become experts in their field. Another, we cannot enjoy fruits obtained by destruction. Even though Pandavas were victorious, they could not enjoy kingdom because they lost their gurus, kids, cousins in the fight. Success cannot be enjoyed if you don't have dear ones. Drama and the difficulty of moral deliberation. Why do bad things happen to good people? What is the best way to respond to sufferings or difficulties in life? How can we maintain faith in a moral standard in the face of the challenges of living a morally good life, having grappled with most deeply or most broadly and over the longest period of time in religious traditions? Such traditions provide individual figures who play the role of moral examples or moral teachers, as well as stories or parables that depict morally good behavior in a particular context. Such stories can provide a framework for our own moral reasoning in our own particular situations. The behavior of Rama in the Ramayana is held out to be such a moral paradigm in the Sahitya Darpana, for example. In the Mahabharata, questions of ethical behavior and moral deliberation take on a more nuanced and unsettled aspect. That the Mahabharata is an itihas is well known. However, it describes itself as also being a text about Veda, Yoga, Vijnana, Kama, Artha, and Dharma. Most importantly, for our present purposes, however, is that it describes itself as a text about Dharma. The discussions of Dharma in Mahabharata are rich and sophisticated and go far beyond simplicities. Ideas about some kinds of supernatural carrot and stick mechanism. Dharma in Mahabharata is constantly problemized and deconstructed exposing the unavoidable turbulence of moral life. Some of the more focused discussions about Dharma are Yaksha Prashna in Mahabharata peculiarly. The Bhagavad Gita and the discussion of Raja Dharma by Bhishma in the Shanti Parva. However, almost every episode in the text provides some new insight into the nature of Dharma. Let us see the famous episode where Draupadi is forcibly dragged into the assembly hall after the Pandavas gamble and lose everything to the Kauravas. The events to be described below take place in section 59 to 62 of Jyuta Parva of Book 2, the Sabha Parva. Having gambled and lost everything, including all the wealth and then the lives of the 5 Pandava brothers, Yudhishthira then gambles and loses the life of their single wife Draupadi. Chapter 66 opens with Duryodhana addressing the wise Vidura in contemptuous terms as follows. Come here, attendant, bring Draupadi, the beloved wife of Pandavas. Let her clean the house. Let her provide us with pleasure. Let her be one of the servant women. Another. Duty is sacrosanct. Perform your duty, even if it means going against your beloved ones, is the message of Krishna to Arjuna. Another ethic. Respect inherent dignity of every human being. A kingdom or society which violates human dignity is bound to decimate. Kauravas' act of tampering with the dignity of Draupadi decimated the whole Kauravas. Another, uphold dharma and truth. Life of Dharmaraja is an epitome of truth and dharma. It symbolizes that dharma needs to be upheld even if it means losing the war. War is bound to cause misery and destruction for millions of years to come. Every fight for a just cause, war is full of destruction, and thus, in a way, Mahabharata teaches the importance of diplomacy. Another, teacher is equivalent to God, which is one of the moral. Even standing on the opposite side of battle, Arjuna first paid much respect to his teachers. Another, immoral means like corruption, cheating only provides momentary gains. In long terms, truth always becomes victorious, as exemplified by victory of Pandavas over Kauravas in the battle. Kurukshetra's warfare has many things to learn, not in arena of warfare, but in the area of establishing peace, prosperity, and growth. Above all, even if a cardinal principle that duty is sacrosanct can be learnt, we can be able to eliminate all kinds of administrative inefficiency and be able to establish effective, efficient, and participatory administration. Another, we can find values, ethics in Mahabharata. What are the values? No? Values are said to be the cause and ethics effect. If one operates in a given instant from a value emotion within outward action will tend to be ethical. and ethics. Ethics is thus a benchmark of human behavior. The conduct of human beings is influenced either by the emotions of life or the actions people perform in different situations. The coordination of action and emotion generates ethics. Ethical behavior. Ethical behavior is characterized by honesty, fairness, and equity in interpersonal, professional, and academic relationships and in all other activities. Ethical behavior respects the dignity, diversity, and rights of individuals and groups of people. This definition is not a denial of the existence of other ethical duties with respect to practice, professional service delivery, and research. The Bhagavad Gita follows the philosophy of Samadarshana and Vishamavartana to the core. Referring to this devotion to duty, it has been remarked in Bhagavad Gita that one should prefer death while performing one's own dharma to a change of professional duty. Kauravas resources logistics. 11 Akshauhinis. One Akshauhini means 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 65,610 horses, and 1,09,350 foot soldiers. Key human resources. Kauravas had key human resources: Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Shalya, Kripacharya, Ashwadhama, Duryodhana. Pandavas resources and logistics, let us see. They are having seven Akshauhini. Their human resources are Arjuna, Bhima, Drishtadyumna, Abhimanyu, Ghatotkacha, Shikhandi, and Satyaki. Now, let us go a principle. SWOT of Pandavas. In the science of psychology, they used to say SWOT, S-W-O-T, S means strength, W means weakness, O for opportunities, T means threats. This is called SWOT technique. Let us see the SWOT of Pandavas. Strength, Krishna, the manager. Friends like Panchalas, the Yadavas, the Magadhas, and Chedis. Overconfident Kauravas. Weakness, wear out for the 13 years. Total number of manpower. Opportunities, to make their kingdom free from threats of Pandavas. Threats, human resource of Kauravas, Chakravyuha, Bhishma and Karna, etc. Now let us go for SWOT of Kauravas. First, yes, strength, logistics and human resources. Chakravyuha, Bhishma, Karna, and other key players. Weakness, overconfidence and ego. Lack of same ideology. Affection for Pandavas in major player. Bhishma, Drona, etc. gurus. Opportunities, to make their kingdom free from threats of Pandavas. Threats, Krishna, unity of Pandavas. Preparation of Kauravas. Karna went on a countrywide military mission, subdued the different kingdoms and acquired wealth. But it means a loss in terms of both men and money and creation of new enemies. Preparation of Pandavas. Though in exile, they turned their attention on improving their weakness. Arjuna set out on a mission to acquire Divyasras. Bhima met his brother Hanuman and got blessings of enhanced strength. Yudhishthira acquired teachings from the various wise rishis. and also learnt the game of dice from Gandharva Chitrasena, lest he was challenged to yet another dice game. It's said that he had become undefeatable in dice. Leadership Kauravas. Centralized leadership, one head of army at one time, who has supreme authority of 11 Akshauhini army, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Shalya and Ashwatthama. Leadership of Pandavas, distributed to leadership, 7 commanders for the 7 divisions, 1 commander each Akshauhini. Virat, king of Matsya, Drupada, king of Panchala, Sahadeva, king of Magadha, Drishtaketu, king of Chedi, Satyaki, only warrior from Dwaraka, Shikandi from Panchala prince, Drishtadyumna, commander-in-chief, Arjuna, supreme commander, Krishna, Arjuna's charioteer and counselor. Team spirit of Kauravas. No team spirit. They all fought their individual wars. Bhishma, for his vow to protect the throne Hastinapura, Drona and Krupa, they vowed allegiance to the throne. Shalya, simply cheated by Duryodhana to be there. Karna, to prove his mantle against Arjuna. Friendship for Duryodhana, they did not get well with each other. All were like bees, hornets and mosquitoes put together in a jar. Team spirit of Pandavas. One team, one goal. As men, they all had huge respect for Krishna and Yudhishthira. While as warriors, they were in complete awe of Bhima and Arjuna. Most of them were close relatives, cousins, brothers-in-laws, father-in-laws. More than that, they all were part of the decision-making process. It was their common war. The roots of Kauravas. Princes brought up in the comfort of royal palace, matured on romanticized ideals of power, fame, courage, and valor. No experience of ground reality. The roots of Pandavas spent the greater part of their lives in poverty. Childhood in the Himalayan foothills among rishis, 1 year exile among the poor people of Kuru Panchala, 12 years of Vanavas and 1 year of Ajnatavas. Experienced with ground reality, contact with people from various strata of the society, sannyasis, acharya, poor brahmanas, lower class potter. Different races of people, Rakshasas, Gandharvas, Apsara, Naga, people from different religions. A sense of showering or sharing and a sense of brotherhood. Thus, we can find these type of ethics in Mahabharata. Shri Kantaya Kalyana Nidetram Shri Venkatnivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangalasasana Parimudacharya Purogamai Sarvaescha Purvairacharya Satkrutajyastu Mangalam.